What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today I'm going to explain why you shouldn't really worry about facing World Boss Legend all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a good idea to face the World Boss Legend, so that way you can get as much CCF as possible. I mean, that's really going to be the main reward when it comes to this. I mean, right now I have 3,600 CCF, which isn't a tremendous amount, right? But when it comes to your EOD and your TCP, you can still get these resources from your regular World Boss Ultimates. But the big thing about regular World Boss Ultimate versus World Boss Legend is the fact that you can actually get Odin's blessings from these bosses, from the World Boss Ultimates, right? And that's actually extremely valuable. I've really kind of reached a point in the game to where, I've pushed in, high levels of World Boss Ultimate or World Boss Legend, I'm sorry. I'm at stage 30 Ultron. I'm at stage, I think like 59, yeah, against Null. I'm at stage 57, I believe, against Mephisto, and I can beat this stage. I actually beat it today, but I wasn't recording the run. It was doomed, by the way, guys. But the problem I'm having is my characters, like a lot of my characters, I don't have Odin's blessings on them. Now, they're not as strong as what they could be. And having Odin's blessings on your characters does make a difference. It does make them stronger, whether you use it for ABX or whether you're using it for a World Boss Legend. I mean, really, for me, that's kind of a combination for me. A lot of my characters that I play in ABX, like Super Giant, for example, my Super Giant gets anywhere from 9 to 9.5 million. And really, she could do a lot better than that, guys. I mean, really, on my account with 126% energy attack, 25% pierce, she could probably get over 10 million if I just had her leveled up a little bit more. And that's just one example, right? There's a lot of other characters like Mephisto that I could level up, Cable. I mean, there's a lot of characters that I just don't have built near as well as I could because I'm always focusing on these world bosses, right? Because I have a lot of fun. But maybe you're similar to me where you've just kind of reached a point where you can't go no higher, right? Maybe you're at stage 19, you can't go no higher. Maybe you're at stage 30, you can't go no higher. And I wouldn't fret over it. I really wouldn't worry about it because if you just go into World Boss Ultimate, right, and you play your World Boss of the day, that's the big thing. This is where you're actually going to get the most rewards. Whatever World Boss shows up here, this is the one you really should be facing unless you're not happy with the reward that you can possibly get from this thing. And honestly, Odin's blessings drop quite often. Another thing about the World Boss Legend that's kind of a bummer is they do have the CTPs, right? They got the mighties in here, and that's cool. And I know some of you have gotten these things, but I have never gotten one. And all the time the World Boss Legends have been available in the game, I've never gotten one of these things at all. But you know what? I get a lot of Odin's blessings, man. When I farm for these things, I get a lot of them. I mean, against Proxima, you can get the focus, which actually gives you energy and critical rate, right? So if you're trying to gain some critical rate and you're trying to gain some energy attack, this is a good boss to farm, right? If you're facing Coal Obsidian, you can actually get the Steel. And the Steel actually gives you physical attack and critical damage, right? This is a really good one for me for my physical attacking characters because I don't have that much critical damage on my cards. So for me, this is actually really good, and it might be really good for you guys. I mean, so if you're trying to farm for energy attacking characters, here's a good one. Physical attacking characters, here's a really good one. Quicksilver, he offers toughness, and toughness actually gives physical attack and critical rate. So it's actually still a really good one. It sucks that there's feathers in here, but I'm telling you guys, Odin's blessings makes a big difference on your accounts. I mean, I've seen other accounts that are clearing these high levels of World Boss where they have, like, for example, they'll have like 80,000 energy attack on their Doom. And I know that's also from their cards as well, right? To remember that. But having, 12 Odin's blessings on a character does make a difference. I'm not trying to tell you that you should do this. You play the game however you want, but if you're trying to push ABX, if you're trying to push World Boss, it's a good idea to get these. And in all honesty, guys, if your World Boss of the day ends up being like, say, Coal Obsidian, and you need to level up a physical attacking character and gain some critical damage, why not do this? Because you can actually get maybe an Odin's blessing from here. And they drop way more often than those mighty CTPs from World Boss Legend do any day. Cable here, he offers the will, right? And the will actually gives you physical attack and skill cooldown. Not really the best, guys. Having skill cooldown isn't the best, so this really isn't a very good boss to farm. And you can, re-roll this. You can change it up to a different boss. It's RNG as far as which one you can get, but you could change it. I really wouldn't farm Cable. I mean, skill cooldown is something that most players won't need. Corvus just offers the HP Odin's blessings, for characters like Hulk or any kind of PvP characters. So if you're trying to farm for PvP, that's always really good. Not going to help your damage. Well, in Hulk's case, it'll help your damage, right? Or Victorious. but that's pretty much about it. Supergiant gives these balances. The balance is, it's not really the greatest Odin's Blessing because it gives you physical attack and energy attack. Don't get me wrong, it's still good because no matter what character you put it on, other than Hawk, Immortal Hawk, or Victorious, it's going to buff them up no matter what, right? Because it has physical and energy attack on it. But personally, I would rather have physical attack and critical damage, or physical attack and critical rate, or energy attack and critical damage, or energy attack and critical rate. Unless your critical rate and critical damage are already maxed out on your characters, then this wouldn't be a bad one at all. Scarlet here offers the Fortitude. And the Fortitude gives you physical attack and ignore defense. Gotta look at my notes, guys, because I don't remember all these off the top of my head. And a lot of players are going to have enough ignore defense already on their accounts. So this really isn't the greatest either, but it could come in handy. I mean, ever since I changed my cars and I lost a little ignore defense, honestly, this wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be that bad at all. Apocalypse here, he gives insight, right? And insight actually gives you energy attack and skill cooldown, right? Another one that's not so great because it gives you the skill cooldown. But I mean, if you need skill cooldown, it's not a bad one to farm. Thanos here gives resist, right? And resist actually gives you energy attack and ignore defense. Again, you know, the ignore defense is kind of one of these things, you know, some people need it, some people don't. And that's all the Odin's Blessings you can get from here. There are other Odin's Blessings in the game, but you're not necessarily going to be farming for them like through here. So, I mean, you know, really the best ones, in my opinion, really is like Proxima and Call. They're just really, really great because you can actually get, you know, energy attack and critical rate here. You can get physical attack and critical damage right here. And really, Quicksilver with the physical attack and critical rate is actually really, really good, man. That is pretty damn nice. Oh, and by the way, Ebony here, I didn't even go over him. Ebony actually gives Amplify. And Amplify will actually give you the energy attack and critical damage, right? So this is another really good one for your energy attacking characters. Just awesome, man. I love farming this one. And obviously it's going to depend on the books that you need, right? Maybe some of you are needing universal books, maybe just tier 3 to Ultron. So it's actually pretty cool that you can come in here and actually farm for this one right here to get these energy attack, critical damage, Odin's Blessings, or Amplify Odin's Blessings, right? These are godly. I mean, really for me, the gaining a energy or physical attack and then critical damage really for me is the best one. So like in my situation, Ebony and Black Dwarf really are the best ones for me to farm. So, you know, if I re-roll this thing right here, right? If I re-roll it and maybe get Call or I get Ebony, like say it's on null, right? You did. Now, some people, if it's already on the World Boss Legend, they'll go ahead and play it because they get that extra CCF, right? But you really do come to a point where you're just going to have so much CCF that you might think about trying to go for Odin's Blessings, right? It really depends on where you're at in the game. I know a lot of people's goal is to get to facing null, right? And I don't blame them at all because they're not really getting enough CCF from the regular World Boss Ultimates. But you will reach a point where you're going to start having an abundance of CCF. So like whatever your World Boss of the day is, you know, maybe play it or switch it to one of the world bosses that has the Odin's Blessings that you're trying to get for your characters, because it will make a big difference as far as damage in your character's output, man. No matter how much Pierce you have on your account, it's still going to make a big difference having Odin's Blessings on your characters. Now, you don't have to do this. It's completely up to you. Play the game however you want to play. But I can tell you guys right now, this is something that I'm going to be focusing on quite a bit. I'm going to be farming a lot of Odin's Blessings because I want to be building some of my characters, just like Supergiant, like I just explained a second ago, right? I want to build her up. I want to get her jacked up because she's a freaking awesome character for World Boss Legend and ABX, but I got nothing on her, right? I want to get this girl jacked up, right? And you can see that having those energy attack critical damage, the ones from Ebony, the Odin's Blessing from Ebony, are the ones that's really going to help out because it's going to max out my critical damage and give me a lot more energy attack, right? Just going to be godly Odin's Blessings. And the bad thing about Odin Blessings is you can only put one of each type in each gear. So like if I wanted to take this one right here, just as an example, I mean, well, we'll go with this one because that'd be the better one. If I take this one and I equip it here, well, if I have another one that's the same, I can equip it here, but I can't equip two of them in one gear, right? You can't equip two of the same in one gear. They have to be in opposite gears. That's kind of the downfall of it. So a lot of times you might have like the Amplify right here, and then you'd have, well, I'm sorry, you'd have an Amplify right here, and then you'd have some other Odin's Blessings right here is something that's different because you can't put two of the same in one gear. That is kind of a caveat to it. I wish we could do it a different way, but it is what it is, right? So I just want to give you guys some food for thought. Maybe it's just better to just go ahead and try to farm for Odin's Blessings to try to level up your characters, whether you're trying to level up for PvP, get some HP, Odin's Blessings from Corvus Glaive, or you're trying to get some energy tag or physical tag, depending on what you got. I mean, Super Giant to me is really kind of the worst one, but still for some players, it might be good because, you know, no matter what balance you get, you're going to gain physical attack or energy attack for your character. But again, I'd really rather have, you know, extra critical rate or extra critical damage. Personally, I think those would be better. I mean, when I look at my characters, guys, I just think to myself, man, I really need to start jacking them up even more so that way I can improve my ABX scores and maybe even hopefully improve my World Boss Legend. Because, you know, right now, like my Doom is, I mean, he doesn't have any Odin Blessings on him at all, right? And I can do stage 57 Mephisto with this guy, right? I mean, I do have a brilliant on him, right? But still, he's still doing it even with 52,000 energy attack, getting near 53,000 energy attack. But if I had some Odin's Blessings jacking him up, it would be a whole lot easier, man. It really would be a lot less painstaking instead of doing the runs over and over and over, trying to get the clear. If you had some Odin Blessings on him, he'd just do so much more damage and it'd make things so much easier for him and any other character that you're going to be equipping those things on. So let me know what you all think about farming for Odin's Blessings. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.